Hi, my name is Colleen Miniuk-Sperry. I live in Chandler, Arizona. I'm not from Chandler though. I'm from Illinois, Arkansas, Ohio, Michigan, and California. I came to Arizona to take a job with Intel Corporation, and I took up photography in 2001 as an outlet to my corporate life at Intel. Business was great, so by 2007 I left my job at Intel Corporation to be a full-time professional photographer, writer, and now author of Wild in Arizona, Photographing Arizona's Wildflowers, A Guide to When, Where, and How. We published this in November 2011, and we're very excited to help people get out and see the beautiful Arizona wildflowers from February to September, and the desert's in bloom right now. So we're very excited to offer this book. 60 different locations, 60 different featured flowers, and for the photographer in you, we have 17 different tips that will help you capture what you see out in the field with your camera.
And you wrote this with?
I wrote this with my good friend Paul Gill. Anyone who's looked at an Arizona Highways magazine, they'll probably recognize Paul's name. He's a contributor, as am I. But Paul and I met in 2003 on an Arizona Highways photography workshop. We've been good buds ever since. It's a big pleasure to be collaborating with him. He was the photographer. He was also the graphic designer, which most people don't realize. He did all the maps. He drew all the maps for us. He laid out the book. I was the writer, and I did some of the photographs, but this represents 45 years of experience, 35 of which is Paul's. I just threw in a token 10.
And what are some quick tips on if people have an interest in photography and have an interest in shooting Arizona wildflowers?
Sure thing. Camera doesn't matter, actually. We make photographs with our brain. So what we want to be looking out for is we want a very clear subject. We want to make sure that if you're photographing the light on the flowers, that you fill your entire frame with that particular subject, with the light on the flower. The other thing to look for is lighting. We're looking for side light or backlight. Side light's where the light illuminates the subject from the side. Backlight is where the subject is illuminated from the back. Those two types of light create shape. The one we want to avoid, actually the two we want to avoid, are top light, where the sun's overhead, and front light, where the sun is illuminating the subject from the front. It renders a flat image, so it's very hard to create that shape that you and I see in the three-dimensional world with our two-dimensional camera.
And what are the best times to shoot photography of wildflowers?
Oh, definitely in the very early morning, so sunrise, and then late in the afternoon, sunset. The poppies though, the Mexican gold poppies that everybody likes to chase, they don't actually open until about 9 or 10 in the morning. They need just a little bit of sun to open up and kind of raise their petals to the sun, so you can sleep in a little bit if you're chasing poppies. And
the time of year, when's the best time to go out?
Well, March is our big explosion of flowers across the Sonoran Desert. But we do bloom, like I said, from February all the way through September. So we've got the annual, perennial, and cactus bloom that we'll be watching now through June. We're expecting a pretty good bloom of perennials like globe mallow and brittlebush and obviously the saguaro cactus now through June. And then we turn our attention to the monsoon bloom. And the monsoon bloom happens in July through September. July through September we get that really moist monsoonal flow come through, and that triggers a whole different set of blooms. Typically we see up in Sedona, we see on the Mogollon Rim in the White Mountains, we see in Flagstaff, but it can also in rare situations cause a low desert bloom, like in the Saguaro National Monument or National Park, or the Dragoon Mountains out by Tombstone. So you've got to just be chasing the wildflowers all the time.
Thank you for being a part of Sibley's West.
Thank you so much, John.